Count Dooku is a very underrated character in the Star Wars universe, and he really shouldn't be overlooked. Yeah, he did have little screen time in the movies, but in the Clone Wars and books, he's a very intriguing character. So here are 5 things about Count Dooku that you probably don't know. Starting off is Dooku knowing his origins. Unlike most younglings, Dooku was aware of his family and was driven to prove himself worthy to them. Dooku was born on the planet Sereno into a noble, wealthy family. His parents were stern but proud of his Force abilities, and willingly surrendered him to the Jedi Order as they had another son to continue the family bloodline. When Dooku was a youngling of the Jedi Order, he and his peers traveled to his home planet Sereno for a galactic festival that was being held there. During the event, Dooku met his family Count Gora, Countess Anya, and his siblings Jenza and Ramil. He kept in contact with Jenza for many years following this event, and you can say they built a very strong bond between each other. However, as Dooku fell to the dark side and returned to his home world of Sereno, he killed his brother Ramil and claimed the title of Count of Sereno around 40 BBY. This is very interesting because many Jedi don't see or know about their family after being in the Jedi Order. Dooku, having known his origins, led him to have attachments to his family and eventually wanting to claim his birthright as a Count of Sereno. Next in number 2 is the propaganda against Dooku. Following the end of the Clone Wars, the newly created Security Bureau for the Galactic Empire conducted loyalty purges during which much propaganda material featuring Dooku was destroyed. As a result, speculation began to circulate after the war's end that Dooku had in fact never left the Jedi Order despite their claims to the contrary. This rumor bolstered the idea that the Jedi had been traitors to the Republic since before the start of the war. It's scary to see how the mass media can contradict even the biggest of truths right in front of people's faces. I mean, Dooku clearly left the Jedi Order and became a Sith. He then publicly announced that he was the leader of the Separatist movement and attended many meetings with high Separatist officials. Just how fast the Empire deemed him to be a secret Jedi and tried to overtake the Separatists is astounding, as they convinced millions of people almost overnight. Coming in at number 3 is the different ideas of Count Dooku's character. Count Dooku's character underwent multiple development iterations during the creative process of Attack of the Clones. Concept artists experimented with various female Sith designs, including Dark Queens, robotic warriors, and vampire witches, as well as a shape-shifting alien concept that eventually evolved into Zam Wesell. George Lucas even toyed with the idea of a battle-scarred Jedi warrior who parted ways with the Jedi Order, who reflected the menacing atmosphere conveyed by Peter Cushing's portrayal of Grand Moff Tarkin. These are very interesting takes on what Count Dooku might have been, but I like the character just the way he is. Having a battle-hardened Dooku sounds way out of place for the elegant, sophisticated royal he is, or even having him be a female vampire, which sounds like something out of the Dark Souls games. The closest depiction, which was said earlier, was having a menacing atmosphere like the one of Grand Moff Tarkin. Peter Cushing pulled off Tarkin's firm elegance, but Christopher Lee knocked this one out of the ballpark. Next, number 4 is Dooku's relationship with Sifodyas. Even though Sifodyas was eventually murdered thanks to Dooku circa 32 BBY, the pair were actually very close friends when they were younger. Upon completing the Initiate Trials, Sifodyas participated in the Padawan tournament, where younglings would compete against each other in combat in order to attract prospective masters. Sifodyas came up against Dooku, who defeated him blindfolded and with one arm behind his back. However, his friend elected not to demand his surrender and allowed his fellow Initiate to duel him to a stalemate so he might better impress the masters. Dooku and Sifodyas were both in the Hawkback clan as Jedi Initiates and were both exactly the same age. They even snuck around the temple together, finding secrets and reading forbidden Sith books. They were both caught, however, by Master Kastana, but she encouraged their secret learning and even slit them a couple secrets. Eventually, Dooku and Sifodyas became Padawans to Masters and didn't see much of each other since they went on missions. However, after Dooku left the Jedi Order, this did not stop him from arranging Sifodyas' death at the hands of the Pikes. It's just chilling to know that Dooku betrayed a close friend for his own benefit and the Sith's. Coming in at number 5 is Dooku's actual first Padawan. While it is common knowledge that Qui-gon Jinn was an apprentice of Dooku in 68 BBY, Dooku actually had another Padawan before this. His name was Rael Avaros. Avaros earned a reputation among members of the Order as a famous duelist like his master before him. At some point, after Dooku delivered an address to the Galactic Senate, Avaros introduced Dooku to the Naboo Senator Sheev Palpatine, who would later become his Sith Master. Years later, Avaros reached out to the Jedi Council for assistance on the planet of Pajal, specifically requesting Qui-gon Jinn. As a fellow student of Dooku's and a former friend, Qui-gon felt obliged to lend aid, but he was not thrilled with his assignment. Years ago, Rael Avaros had broken Jedi protocol when attacked by pirates, and it cost him his Padawan's life. Although cleared of any official wrongdoing, Qui-Gon still held a grudge for the way that Avaros had conducted himself. As a way to distance him from the other Jedi and give him a way to atone for his Padawan's death, the High Council had sent Avaros to the planet of Pajal. The planet's rulers had died, and their 60-year-old daughter was too young to assume the throne, so Avaros acted as the Lord Regent and oversaw the princess's growth into power. After resolving the political dispute on Pajal, Avaros succeeded in reaching out to his former master, who shared with him that he had discovered a great power that he wished to share with Avaros. However, Avaros refused Dooku's offer, and before cutting the transmission, informed his former master that he had chosen the light side and was not interested in what Dooku had to offer him. And those are 5 facts about Count Dooku that you now know.